Mark Deutrom, The Bluebird, 13 tracks, 50 minutes, looks like the fourth solo album from the former bassist in the Melvins, released January 2019 by A Season of Mist, produced by Mark himself, recorded at S3 Recordings in Texas. 3 promo tracks have been released in The Happiness Machine, Nothing Out There, and Maximum Hemingway. This was sent to us by the label itself. Dave.
Yeah, the first couple of songs are kind of instrumental, and I was set back, okay, cool, this is going to be instrumental stuff, and then we get vocals on the 4th track, I think it was, and that kind of took me out of the vibe I was in. Dark and atmospheric at times, it gets quite haunting. It's like Black Sabbath took some of Pink Floyd's acid and started freaking out.
Actually, it's not bad. That's not bad.
It's hard to pick an individual song that was kind of a standout because it's more like a complete piece that you listen to.
Caesar takes over half the shot.
Fucking hell. Yeah, it's like something you listen to at 2 a.m. when you're too tired to go to sleep or too fucked up on acid. I got the feeling this is a concept album, but I don't know what the concept was. It's...
Diggity!
Dear Seasons of Mist, I'm sorry.
Caesar, come on.
Come down, boy.
That's great.
Kind of reminded me of that old silent movie Metropolis. It'd be a great soundtrack for that.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what to make of it. It's certainly unique, and you won't hear anything like it. I gave it 6 out of 10 just for oddness. Hell is the City was interesting.
All right. It starts off very somber, this album, and then it just beats you with a fucking stick in the next fucking 2 minutes. It's like, what the hell? And then the rest of the album goes back to that really laid-back thing, and it's just like, what is going on?
Yeah.
I don't understand it, and I don't know if I want to understand it. These are the albums that usually irk the hell out of me because there's no flow, and I like flow. I like to be taken on a journey.
Yeah.
I like things to be placed in correctly.
This one's a bit disjointed.
Yes,
Very disjointed.
it's like a bipolar erratic nightmare.
It's actually a fair
There's a
description.
song in that.
You know, which
Bipolar, erratic, glory hole nightmare.
Whoa, hello. Songwriting on the fly here.
it just goes everywhere and anywhere, but it
Ends
doesn't
up
go
nowhere.
Yeah, it's just
Actually, yeah, pretty active.
yeah. The moods, everything is just the breakdowns are cool and unique at times, but then they just drag for too long, and it's just like, man, what are you gonna do? Something fucking else now, and you don't. Production was suited for the album. I thought it was captured well. It was not overdone. It is a dirty, grungy sort of sound, and it's not polished, so that's what it suits. It suits all that. That's fine. But I couldn't get into it, and I probably gave it a higher score than I probably should have. Oh Ye of Little Faith, I think that's
the song. Yep.
yeah. Maximum
Hemingway.
Yeah. The Happiness Machine were the ones where I thought
Happiness.
I could tolerate. I didn't like this album, but I
Couldn't tell up until now. I was really wondering where you were going to land on that.
I was. Yeah, I'm starting to feel unwell again, and that's how I felt after listening to this album. 4 out of 10.
This is Vince Russo Does Music.
That's great.
Wow. Okay. That's
All right, so you know what this is, right?
the ultimate troll.
This reminds me, basically. I used to play in a particular band of people who I feel if they were let loose would release this. Because
So
what
you did a handbrake? Or?
So what it sounds like, it sounds like an audiophile has gone into a studio with a bunch of new toys and gotten some great tones and thought, that sounds fantastic, and thought that was songwriting. Unfortunately, it's not the case, because I'm not going to lie, the tones are fucking great. But there's no rhyme or reason or anything to what happens. Everything just happens randomly. The vocals, on that first track where vocals happens is really off-putting because it sets you up for the instrumental thing and it just takes you out of it completely. Mm-hmm. Which, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with going on a journey and having knowing where you're going but having unexpected stops on the way, that makes sense. The key, though, is having it make sense, and this makes no sense whatsoever. Hence, Vince Russo.
Yeah, well, that's actually true.
I gave this 3 out of 10, mainly because the tones were fantastic. Whoever the studio is,
Mark
charge
produced
more.
himself, yeah.
The studio.
Yeah, well,
charge more.
Estrie
sounds
Recordings in Texas.
What record company is he signed to?
Seasons of Mist.
They do a lot of heavy stuff, so that's
Yeah.
why I thought this would be interesting, because it's a much
Look,
more sedate
yeah,
release, so obviously branching out.
They need pill testing. That's what they need.
I
You're signing this fucking shit. Like,
I looked it up because
He was in the Melvins, and that's the thing.
Yeah, who's
They
give-
need-
I looked it up because I didn't know if it was a local band or not, and I didn't want to bury it. If it was a local band, I know Seasons of Mist just because they've released some Mayhem albums, and I love the Mayhem albums. They don't sound great, but they sound great for the style of music. And yeah, I don't know, this one just completely missed it for me.
Season Mist is actually a pretty good label. It's
They
pretty
are
interesting.
They have great releases on there, and what I do like about it is they do take chances on things that wouldn't get a chance, especially with heavy music. So
today,
thank them for that. But
they won't take a chance on sending another album to us.
I'll tell you what. Next Mayhem album, send it straight to me.
Yeah, well, that'll get a good review. This is an interesting one. It's going to be challenging for a lot of people out there. There's a lot of diversity here, not only in the musical styles explored, but also in the range of instrumental tracks with no vocals present on this. There's lots of space in the writing, so the performances don't really get a lot of room to hide, which means the performances themselves individually are good. There's no hiding these things. Solid. The colour of the artist used on display should be. The vocals are the weak link in that regard, depending on taste, but that's splitting hairs a little bit in that regard. That's going to be very predicated by taste. You're either going to get along with it. If you're like a Lou Reed fan, I reckon you'll enjoy this sort of stuff. If you're not a Lou Reed fan, then you're going to... It's like Lulu. It's going to be a struggle.
Lulu's much better than this.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. I wouldn't go that far either. The composition has lots of space again. It's meant to convey the emotion through the atmosphere. They do that part well. Does shift things up and down emotionally. There's a fair bit of instruments, like diversity-wise, and the subtlety in that aspect is really good. So the audiophile analogy you made is really good in that regard. They went in there, they got a whole bunch of things, went, okay, how can I make this sound really great? And they made that all really good. And then they started with this soundscape idea, and then they lost their way after that, which is where it's weird. Like I said, lyrically it puts me in mind of Lou Reed. It's interesting, different. It's got a bit of the avant-garde thing about it. It's not going to be for everyone, obviously. Not a happy listen. It's pretty depressing. There's some depth and darkness explored in this release. Like you, the tones here, fucking hell, there are amazing tones captured on this, as well as the depth and space used in the mix. That was really cool. This sounds beautiful on one hand, but on the other hand, they got this thing to clip on compression when it was only bass and drums. How the fuck do you even do that? That was mind-blowing. When I heard it clipping when it was just bass and drums, I was just, what did you do? You had all these tones, and then you went and just went spaz happy with the compression. What the fuck are you doing? No need for that. It's either lazy or intended, but either way, there was no need for it. It's a diverse collection of songs. It's not really a cohesive album in any way, shape, or form.
No.
Not only in the style, but also the track lengths. None of that really fits together. This almost feels like a bunch of individually composed pieces just lumped together in a random Yahtzee order on an album. It just didn't make any sense. I think it was intended to be disjointing, like make you feel off-putting, but it does drag its feet. This feels every bit of its 50 minutes and more when you're listening to it. And if you're looking for riffs and guitar, just stay the fuck away from this. You're not going to get it. This is for fans of the artistic expression of music only. You need a pretty open mind. I can appreciate it for what it's meant to be, but it's not something I'm going to go back to. It's funny, we've mentioned different things, but I picked up on a bit of a David Lynch soundtrack vibe for this. That's what it puts me in mind of. In hindsight, maybe not the best choice for us to review it. I did my random song selection. Like I always get the random song selection, and I'm just luck out again on. We've had a few in the past where I've just lucked out on the ones that seem to be a bit more rocky, and I'll go with those ones. And I hit on the ones that worked and missed all the ones that didn't really work. It's worth a listen overall, but I don't think there are many that are going to really get into this. And it's for the die-hard fans of things like the Melvins and the history of that sort of stuff, and just seeing what people are at now. I don't think there's any real serious marketable appeal in the listen to this one. Go to 5 out of 10. The Happiness Machine, Oh Ye of Little Faith, and Maximum Hemingway. I think that's the only ones that any of us could really find our way getting into personally. But Over to you. Check it out for yourselves. Let us know what you think.
Fuck, I want to chuck it in the bin.
Oh, it's offensive to blue birds as well. Any bird that's blue and has blue on it.
What about Hemingway?
You out for Shroud?
I'm sitting next to.
Oh, okay.